Hello, welcome to ScriptWave. In our previous lecture, we discussed and installed our Python. Now we'll be writing our first code and we'll be exploring the UI of IDLE and PyCharm. So let's get started and let's quickly see a quick agenda of what we are going to cover in our lecture today. Today we'll start working on Python, we'll understand what is commenting, and we'll also write our first Python code using our IDLE. So without any further ado, let's see how Python works and how the code is executed. So here we have a brief diagram of how Python code will be working. So let's see it one by one and step by step. So first we'll write the code. So whenever we are writing Python code, we'll save it in .py file. So it's very important if you're learning any programming language. If you are familiar with any other language, maybe C, you will use .c. If you're using C++, you will use .cpp. If you're using Java, .java. JavaScript, then you will use .js. If you're using HTML, .html, .css, etc. In a similar way, we are using .py, where the source code will be saved on our local machine. Then once we click on run or execute, that will move to the compiler, where this converts the source code into the bytecode. Bytecode is a step where we'll get .pyc file got created. So this is called as class. So this is the process which also similar in Java, where whenever we are executing Java, you'll have a .class file created. But here we don't see it because it will be done internally, whereas in Java you can explicitly see it. Now this bytecode will be sent to Python virtual machine. So this is very important. Python has its own environment. It's like having its own computer, which makes it flexible, portable, where anywhere in the world or any computer will get the same output because of this Python virtual environment. It gives a same output. And now this virtual environment converts into machine instructions, and that machine instructions will be given as an output to the program. So this is the process of how Python works whenever we are writing code and clicking on the execute button. This is very important because maybe in an interview you can get a question on how Python works. So be prepared of this kind of scenario, how Python will be executed. And big question is, Python is compiled or interpreted. So Python is both. So this part is called as compiling. You can see it here. And the bytecode to the execution is called as interpreted. So we are interpreting. So Python is both compiled and interpreted, but many books always highlight interpreted language because that has a longer run. So few books, if you see interpreted, that's not wrong. They're partially right. Whereas if you see the core of Python, then yes, Python is compiled and interpreted both. Let's move forward. Now we are trying to discuss a very important entity in any programming language, that is comments. So what is comments? Comments is nothing but we are adding a piece of code which will be skipped by our compiler. Let's see the definition first and then we'll discuss and how we can understand and use comments. Comments in Python are identified with hash symbol. So different languages has different comments. Hash is in Python, / is in Java, and we have as well in JavaScript. And then if you're using maybe HTML, we have something like this. So this is HTML comment. Different languages has different commenting. So here in Python, we have hash. So you can see the hash here and extend to the end of line. So whenever you add a hash, it will extend till the end. If you have a line and if you have a hash, whole line will be escaped from executing. Hash characters in a string are not considered as comments. This is very important point to underline. Hash in a string, that means hash in a string, there is a string. We'll discuss about strings in a lot bigger way, but just to understand, this is not comment. This is a string. Anything will be inside the inverted quotes is called as string. There are three ways of writing a comment: a separate line, beside the corresponding line of statement, multi-line comment. So we'll try to understand each one by one. So what is single line comment? You can add a hash and the whole line will be commented. You add something, maybe a is equal to 10, and now I'll add after declaring the variable, maybe let's say a is age. So you're writing a description of this variable, and this is also comment. This is a complete line comment. This is inline comment. Now we have one more version, that is using triple quotes or 3 double quotes. So this is comment. Using comments, we have the readability, because here you can see what is age is a is age. Explain code to others. Let's take, if someone else is reading my code, they'll understand clearly that okay, a is 10 where a is age. So they don't have any confusion of what a means. Understanding the code very easy after a long time. So we have a great feature of human, that is forgetting. So you always forget, maybe you might need to revisit your code after 1 year or 2 years. Sometimes with comments, you can definitely understand what you have written 2 years before or 3 years before. Doc strings. So this help us in adding a description to functions. We'll see about doc strings in much longer version in the future classes. Reusing the existing code. This is very important feature. Very lot of people skip it. So if you're writing a file, or if you're writing a Python project .py, and you have maybe 10,000 lines of code, now you found that there are 100 lines of code, or you can say a feature which consists of 100 lines of code is not valid now, but it will be valid tomorrow. After 3 months, they want to use the same feature, but right now it's not valid. So will you be deleting all these lines, or you can use a new thing called as commenting? So you can comment the complete block so that that will be reused later, because you need not to write again and again. So this is reusing the existing code. So let's try to see everything in action. So first I will open ideally, and then we'll try to write some comments and try to understand how we can write in 3 versions. So here we are in ideally. So we can click on file, click on new file. This opens a new window. If you're not able to see it on your system, just click on minimize. You will see a new file created. Now I am adding a comment. So this is my first file. This is the single line comment. And now let's write inline comment. A is equal to 10. A is age. So this is comment again. Now let's try to write some code. Print A, this is a code, but I want to comment it out using multi-line comments. So we can use triple quotes. Triple quotes are also used as string. If you assign it to variable, that will be a variable. If you don't assign it, it will behave like commenting. So now I'll add, this is multiple lines, right? So I'm adding one more line. It won't throw an error, but we are just being very honest. You can just click on save. You can use Control S, or you can just go here and click on save or save as. I want to save it in maybe desktop, or let's save it in desktop. I'll create a new folder called Python, and let's add the version as well. Always make sure you to add .py. Now we got the .py. You can save it. Now click on run. It won't return anything for sure, because we don't have any print statements or anything. So this is how we can write it. You can see you have the file still created. You can click on close. You can open the recent files using this one, or you can click on open and navigate the file if you want. So everything is possible in Python. Let's move forward to the next step. I have also added the code for every section so that you can practice it along with what we are doing in the video. You also have the PDF attached in your course section. Make sure you use it so that you will remember things faster and better. So this is how you can run the code. So you have detailed steps. Instead of we following the PPT, you can definitely refer it back once you have it. Now I'm navigating back, I'm closing it. I'll close it again and I'll open again so that you will see how we can open it. Click on IDLE, the latest version, and this is the IDLE. Okay, my bad. Let me just keep it as maximize, not full screen. I'll go here and click on new file. I got the new file opened. Now here, I'll say, this is my first program, print hello world. Now I'll save it. I know it's an error. Maybe if you're guessing it very good, you have guessed it right. So let's name it as 13 part B and click on save. You can click on run. It throws an error. So invalid syntax. The reason because you cannot add a word without double quotes. So this is an error. So add the double quotes, click on run module. This will execute your code. Hello world. You can add your name, you can add your parents' name, you can add your best friend's name, etc. So there are endless possibilities. So keep it however you want it. Okay, let's move forward. So once you have it, you got the first output. Congratulations for it. So we'll be moving forward in the next lecture to understand the print, the output function in detail. You just seen it. Let's try to understand how is it used, what are the parameters we have, and how we need to use, etc. in the next lecture. So thank you so much. Have a great day. See you in the next class.